Hello everyone, welcome to Foster Recap. Today I am going to recap the most underrated movie of all time, Tumbbad, which is an Indian Hindi movie. Spoiler alert, watch out. This movie is divided into 3 chapters. Story. Long ago, the goddess of prosperity was born. She is the symbol of unlimited gold, wealth, and grain, food, and the earth is in her womb. When the universe was created, it gave birth to 160 million gods. Hastar, her first and most beloved son, was greedy for all her gold and food. Hastar managed to acquire the gold from the goddess, but when he tried to acquire food, other gods attacked him. Then, the goddess saved him from God on the condition that he could never be worshipped and would be forgotten by history. For years and years, Hastar slumbered inside his mother's womb for over 1 billion years. However, the residents of a village called Tumbbad, where Hastar has been trapped in his mother's womb, defy this ancient taboo and build a temple dedicated to Hastar. This earns the ire of the gods, and they curse the village, causing an incessant downpour of rain over it. Chapter 1. The movie starts in Tumbbad with a lady wearing a red-colored sari, entering a mansion where she gives an intimate service to the old man. She is supposed to be his mistress. She proceeds to pressure that man in the hope of getting the treasure of Hastar, but the old man always denies it, stating that the treasure must be earned and not meant to be asked for. On the other hand, we are introduced to her 2 children, Sadashiv and Vinayak. They both understood their mother was not at home, and Sadashiv worried who would feed their grandmother. Vinayak took charge to make supper. He made some rice. Vinayak and Sadashiv summoned their courage to go to her. The reason for their fear is that their grandmother is a monster-like creature. She was cursed by Hastar for stealing his gold. She is cursed with extreme hunger and pain. She is a living corpse. Vinayak sent his little brother to feed her. When he was supposed to enter the room, their mother came and stopped them. She scolded both of them and went to feed her. She trimmed the old lady's nails and came back safely. Vinayak and her mother discussed when they would earn and find treasure. Her mother repeated the words of the old man, saying the treasure must be earned, not meant to ask. While they were talking, the old lady woke up and started making strange sounds and crying. She is feeling hungry. Vinayak's mother went close to her room with an axe. She scared her by saying the old lady to sleep or else Hastar will come. The old lady quickly went into sleep in fear of Hastar. Next day they received the sad news about the old man's death. He was the provider of the family. With his death, their future is unclear. After cremation, she decided to leave Tumbbad and move to Pune, but Vinayak was so desperate for the treasure he asked his mother to explore the mansion or forcefully ask her grandmother. She understood Vinayak's greed and scolded him. Sadashiv listened to their conversation. He went outside and sat on a tree branch. Vinayak, fully disappointed and in a rage of frustration, came outside. Sadashiv asked his brother about Pune city. Vinayak explained about the place. Then the tree branch where Sadashiv was sitting broke. He fell down from the tree and had a heavy injury to his head. Their mother quickly decided to take him to the hospital and instructed Vinayak. Vinayak was so scared, he quickly made food. Then the old lady woke up from her sleep. She made strange sounds. She understood no one is at home except Vinayak. She told Vinayak if he opened the door she would inform him of the location of the treasure. Due to Vinayak's interest toward the treasure, he went to her room slowly. Inside he saw her for the first time. She looked like a monster, her jaw was nailed, and she was tied with huge metal chains. Vinayak understood it was a trap and quickly closed the door and went to cook the food. He was trying to remember the name which his mother said to make the grandmother sleep. Then to his horror, she escaped from the room and surprised him from the backside. She locked Vinayak's leg with the chain. She brutally dragged Vinayak towards her room, planning to eat him. Vinayak was testing his luck by saying various names to send her to sleep. She screamed loudly. Vinayak sneaked under a wooden bed, but the lady got a grip of his head. She locked him and took a nail from her jaw and was about to kill him. Then Vinayak remembered the name Hastar at the last moment. By hearing the name, the grandmother got scared and went into sleep. Vinayak escaped a brutal tragedy in the nick of time. Later, Vinayak's mother came with bad news. She informed him that Sadashiv had died. After the cremation of his body, his mother decided to leave Tumbbad, but Vinayak insisted on staying for the sake of the undiscovered treasure. His mother understood how greedy he was. She scolded him and later calmed him by giving him 1 gold coin she stole from the old man. They were both going to Pune, and Vinayak seemed unhappy, but his mother told him not to visit Tumbbad. Chapter 2, 15 years later, Vinayak revisited Tumbbad. Now he is a fully grown muscular man. He went to his old house, which is fully covered with trees. There he found a tree growing from his grandmother's body. He touched her, and to his surprise, she is still alive. Then he asked her for the location of the treasure. She explained everything under the condition that he would kill her after finding the treasure, finally freeing her from her curse. Vinayak searched everywhere in Tumbbad, following every direction of his grandmother. She even told him how to loot the treasure without getting cursed. After many days of searching, he finally found the treasure he was looking for, the goddess's womb. He fulfilled his grandmother's wish by burning her body, putting an end to her suffering. He went back to Pune and learned that his wife is selling items and working a daily wage job for money. He got angry, sent everyone out, took her upstairs, and they had an intimate moment. Then Vinayak went to his friend Raghav, selling the gold coin collected from the goddess's womb. He received a substantial amount of money. From then on, he changed his lifestyle. Every week, he went to Tumbbad, brought new coins, and made money by selling them in the market. Soon, he became the richest person in town. His friend Raghav understood he was from Tumbbad and was curious about the source of his gold coins. He introduced him to alcohol and prostitution, wanting to become a trusted advisor to him, but what he didn't know was that Vinayak trusts no one. Later, Vinayak was blessed with a baby boy. Greed for gold in Raghav's mind kept growing. He imported expensive gifts from Britain to impress Vinayak, but Vinayak didn't fall into his trap. One day, Raghav brought a young and beautiful girl, claiming her husband had recently died and requested to offer her a servant position in Vinayak's house. Vinayak accepted her as a servant. Raghav placed her as a spy to keep Vinayak busy so he could investigate the infinite treasure himself. The lady betrayed Raghav by revealing the plot to Vinayak. The next day, Vinayak went to Tumbbad. Raghav saw him and understood his spy had failed him, but he kept observing Vinayak. Vinayak also pretended that he hadn't noticed Raghav, showing him the way to the womb and hiding behind a wall. Raghav thought Vinayak had left and went into the womb. It's a dark cave that looks like a living stomach. He searched everywhere but found nothing. Then he saw a box. He opened it and inside he saw a doll made with wheat flour. Suddenly, he was attacked by Hastar. Later, Vinayak went inside. He saw Raghav, who was cursed by Hastar and turned into a living corpse. He asked for mercy to be freed, but Vinayak ignored him, drew a circle with wheat flour, and took out a doll made with wheat. Hastar came, but it seemed like Hastar couldn't enter the circle. He threw the doll from far away from the circle, and Hastar started eating the doll. Then Vinayak grabbed a pouch of Hastar, and many gold coins spilled out. He collected some coins before Hastar finished his meal. He felt sad for Raghav and burned him with a lamp. Vinayak escaped from the womb just in time. Chapter 3, 14 years later, Vinayak grew old and weak. He spent most of his days in brothels and drinking alcohol. He returned from Tumbbad with empty bags. Now his son, Pandurang, was grown, and Vinayak had 2 daughters. Pandurang spent most of his time training to collect gold from Hastar. Vinayak understood that now it was his son's time to earn. He ordered his wife to get Pandurang ready. He wanted to take him to Tumbbad. Vinayak took him and explained everything to Pandurang. They both entered the womb and drew a circle. Vinayak planned to train his son first before entering the mission, so he didn't bring a doll with him. But to his shock, Pandurang told him he had brought the doll. Suddenly, Hastar attacked them, but fortunately, they reached the circle safely. Vinayak distracted Hastar by throwing the doll and ordered his son to climb to the top before Hastar finished his meal. Greedy Pandurang, however, went to collect gold coins. He collected some and luckily escaped. Vinayak scolded him for not following his order. Later, they both traveled back to Pune. That night, India gained its freedom from the British. Some freedom fighters approached the drunken Vinayak, who showed disrespect towards them. They informed Vinayak that the Indian government was planning to take control of Tumbbad. Vinayak had less time before his unlimited source of income would be shut down. Pandurang gifted a gold coin to Vinayak's mistress to sleep with him, and she accepted. That night, Vinayak noticed Pandurang's coin in her hand. He understood and started beating Pandurang. After showing all his wealth to Pandurang and explaining the problem with the newly formed Indian government, Pandurang suggested taking many dolls to collect more coins at once. Vinayak liked the idea and began preparing wheat flour with the help of a servant. They went to Tumbbad with the flour and made many dolls. They entered the womb, drew a circle, and Vinayak took 2 dolls. Then, to their horror, 2 Hastars appeared in front of them. From behind, Pandurang took out many dolls without realizing their situation. Soon, they were surrounded by a number of Hastars, who were fighting each other and causing trouble. Vinayak understood that they were doomed. To save his son, he had to make the ultimate sacrifice. He tied all the dolls to his body and started climbing the rope. Despite being attacked by all the Hastars, he managed to escape. Later, Pandurang emerged and saw that his father was cursed and had turned into a living corpse. He offered some of the money he had collected to his son, but Pandurang had a complete change of heart about money and refused. After much thought, Pandurang gave his father a proper farewell by burning him and left, leaving the gold behind as a symbolic representation of leaving greed behind. In the last shot, he closed the door completely. The end. Thank you for watching our content. Over 99% seeing our videos without subscribing. It means small to you, but it is very encouraging for us. Please subscribe if you like our video. Please like, share and comment to support our efforts. Come on man, subscribe.